The fourth stage in the 10 C's framework is about creating credibility from an internal perspective. We're going to look at the actions you can take to create a perception of credibility within the areas you're in control of influence in. The objective of this stage is to create the perception of credibility in the minds of those businesses or those customers that we've identified in the club stage, those who have an interest in your product offering. It's important to establish credibility in the buyer's mind in order to move to the next stage of that buying process. Without credibility, you'll go no further in the process. One way of establishing credibility is to be seen as an industry thought leader. This is about expressing your thoughts on the issues in your industry, offering insight and ideas on ways to improve, and becoming a spokesperson for the industry. There's a number of ways you can do this: blogs, writing articles, distributing your thoughts via a mailing list, speaking at industry events, or perhaps recording regular videos on the subjects that you're passionate about, which relate to the industry. The route that you choose is your preference. So some are comfortable being on camera, while some are natural writers. If you want a client to be confident in your ability to deliver, they might want to know how they might want to know about your training and experience. What makes you qualified to provide a solution to them? You'll remember from the various sections of this program, I've told you about lots of things we've been involved with. This basically demonstrates that we're qualified to talk about those subjects because we've already got the battle scars from doing them. And it's the same for your business. Talking about the latest training event you're attending, showing certificates, these all build credibility from a qualification perspective. Don't forget though, it's not just you, it's Sally, it's John, it's Fred, it's Debbie, it's everyone in your business. If you only talk about your own training, people will think you're the only person working in the business, which might just create a negative perception of your business in terms of having the capacity to deliver. If you're bidding for contracts that need 100 staff to deliver them, but people perceive your business as only being you, then they might not be so keen to give you those contracts. Hosting an event where you get to talk about ways that you can help your target audience is a great way to position yourself as that expert. This way, you also control the narrative. And when you speak on stage, your status is automatically elevated in your target's mind. They see you as that expert guide. Another way, similar to speaking on stage, is to write a book to establish credibility with your audience and communicate your ideas. It's a lengthy process to do it properly, typically 4 to 6 months of work, most of which is a full-time commitment on your part. After it's complete, though, you've got a book that you can hand out to interested parties. And if it takes your audience 3 hours to read it, well, that's 3 hours of talking to them as one-to-one with no distractions. You've got their undivided attention. Video to me is the next best thing to being face-to-face with your target client. Based on what I enjoy watching myself, I think the best videos are the ones that educate you in the process. Bite-sized training videos where you can demonstrate your expert knowledge. Interview style, conversational videos with lots of interaction are good as well. And I'm less keen on watching a talking head for 10 minutes. I tend to switch off mentally after a few minutes. I also like the walk and talk style videos too, but those might just be my personal choice. Branding plays a big part in how credible you appear to your target client. Your brand is more than just your company name and logo. It's every touch point where your client and target client comes into contact with your business. That means it's how you talk, it's how you dress, your daily actions, and even what type of vehicle you drive. Think of your brand like the entire sky. Your logo is the sun, and the stars are every point that your client comes into contact with about your business. Your brand is what your clients see when they can't see the sun. So when thinking about your branding, there are 3 different levels you should consider: your company brand, your product offering brand, and your personal brand. With each of these, they don't sit in isolation of each other. They all have to be connected to each other. How you position your business in your target client's eyes will be determined by your branding. Perception plays a big part of branding. As the saying goes, perception is reality. You can make your business appear much larger or much smaller, depending on what perception you need your clients to hold of you. For larger clients, size creates confidence. For individual consumer buyers, size is less important than just being professional in how you do things. Let's imagine you set up a small farm shop in a remote village. If you tried to create the perception of a large corporate, your target clients would probably be turned off by it. Whereas if you presented your offering as the local farmer selling their artisan food products, you could probably charge your customers more than the large corporate could, more than they could ever get away with. It's the exact same product, just a different way of positioning it. And your positioning starts with your branding. A good practice is to start with a brand audit on the business, normally performed by a third party that's impartial. After starting out with a clear picture of what your brand message is, agreeing on the perception you'd like to present to the outside world, the brand audit acts like a fresh pair of eyes, looking around your business to make sure you're creating that perception across all areas of business and in the customer experience. Are all your vehicles washed, clean and tidy inside and in a good state of repair? Or will I drive down the road and see them on the back of a breakdown truck with 7 years worth of road grime? Is your office regularly cleaned? A few years ago, I met with a cleaning company at their office. I was led into their meeting room in the back, and the table and chairs were so dusty, I imagined someone had been fighting with a bag of flour a few minutes earlier. It was obvious they hardly ever used this room. But the irony is, though, this company provided cleaning services. It would have taken them a few minutes every week to clean this room themselves. That wasn't a very good brand example. How many other clients have experienced this lack of awareness? Another example, are your signs hanging off the wall? Or do you have letters missing on your premises or vehicle signage? It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how common it is to notice things in your business, but then get swallowed up in the day-to-day busyness. You forget you've seen it, and it seems to blend into the background. And that thing you should have fixed turns into an everyday normal. You don't see it anymore. This all affects the perception of how credible your business is. The same applies for the overall state of the building. Is the building falling down, or is it a new modern building, well maintained with a glass facade oozing with style? When someone looks at it, what message does it present to them about your business? Have you got a branded domain email address, or do you use the generic email addresses like Yahoo and Hotmail? When you use these generic email accounts, it subconsciously tells your target client that it's just you working in the business. If you're bidding for large contracts, there's less chance that they'll take you seriously if you know it's only if they know it's only you working in the business. It doesn't matter if you believe you can deliver. It's all about perception. That's all that matters. The same rule applies to your company's phone number. There's 3 types of company phone numbers depending on how you want to be perceived. If you're positioning your business as a national service provider without geographic boundaries, then you should choose one of the non-geographic numbers, such as 0800 or 0845. Alternatively, you can use multiple geographic numbers to represent multiple operating locations, such as 0141, 0121, 0208. If your business operates locally, the best number is the local geographic number. Likewise, if you operate in 2 area codes, you could use the geographic number for each of them. The third level of number is the mobile number. If your business is something where you provide personalized services, it's just you. Let's say it's like a mobile hairdresser, then it's probably okay to use a mobile number. So long as that's the perception you're trying to portray. If, however, you employ staff or intend to employ staff, and your clients perceive that you would need to employ staff to deliver what they need, then choosing a mobile number is the worst choice. These choices aren't expensive. A branded email costs less than £5 a month, and most phone numbers can be purchased either as a one-off payment or rented for a few pounds a month. The next point is how you take calls. Answering the phone using a scripted message that everyone in the business follows instantly elevates your business to a professional status in the eyes of your client. If you don't have anyone to answer the phone, calls can either be diverted to your mobile without the caller knowing, or you can pay an external call answering service a small amount for every call they answer. Normally that price is probably £1 a call. With this external call answering option, they'll normally provide you with a free geographic number as part of that service. And one route to improve perception, again, comes down to visual cues. This starts with uniforms, everyone wearing the same style of clothing. If interacting with clients, that uniform should be branded. Using staff ID cards, again, uniform and branded with the person's picture included. It doesn't cost much to set everyone up with a lanyard and an ID card. You can buy the equipment and do it yourself, or pay an external company to do it for you. But doing that positions you as being professional in how you operate. What name do you give to the various roles in your business? Most businesses don't even think about opportunity or about this opportunity, simply just using the same as everyone else. But this is something I've seen for decades in the car repair industry, and more recently in the newer technology companies like Google. So in the car repair industry, you'll have a junior technician, which is an apprentice, a technician, which is a general mechanic, senior technician, which is a supervisor, and sometimes a master technician, which is the manager or the boss or the technical director. Using a similar system in your business, just by changing a few words on a business card or ID badge, will reposition you in your client's mind. One of the best ways to create credibility is to show what you've done for other people in their industry. Creating case studies for every client, every sub-niche, every sector, every geography, and every product offering will help you cover all bases when potential clients start looking deeper at your business. Case studies can be created in multiple formats: written, videos, press releases, LinkedIn posts, photos, etc. When you create these, it's a good idea to create a basic template of the information you need to include in each case study and how that information will be presented, again, keeping a uniform appearance across the business. If you're delivering a project over a long period or working on a retainer basis, it can be a good idea to create a video or a photo or a written diary to update progress. A good example I've seen of this is when someone is building a house and they post update videos and pictures every week to keep target clients informed on social media. Good platform for doing this, other than the normal social media channels, are Pinterest or Instagram, as people can look back over time. So if you've got examples of your past work, they'll see it as a time lapse. And the same principle applies for any type of business. You don't have to be building a house. You could have a weekly photo or video with one of your clients where you promote a different client every week. If you can prioritize just one of these activities and look to improve on it, this will have a massive impact on your business and on building that perception of credibility in your client's mind.